on the open road, catch a fish where rivers flow, flying high where drones do go, bike and fish and fly, let's roll. Morning rides with sunrise glow, casting lines where water's slow, over hills and waters low, drone up high, the world below.
We've been following the drone footage documenting the construction of homes in the villages. You're probably aware that at least 5 of us who created these videos have received cease and desist letters from a lawyer representing the villages. The letters demand that we stop filming. First, let me clarify a few things. Of the 5 drone pilots targeted, I can confidently say that I've been making YouTube drone videos the longest. I published my first in 2015, over 10 years ago. This is the first time anyone has ever complained about where I fly my drone. I know the rules and I follow them. Like 3 of the other pilots that I know of, I hold an FAA Part 107 drone pilot certificate, which requires passing a rigorous exam. We know the regulations and we adhere to them, period. I'm making this video on March 27th after receiving a letter from the village's attorney dated March 17th. We've been playing phone tag, and now the ball is in his court to propose a time for us to talk. After reviewing videos from at least 3 other pilots, I firmly believe none of us has done anything wrong. For example, the attorney claimed I appeared to be violating FAA regulations by flying over 400 feet above ground level. However, it's impossible to determine the drone's altitude just by watching a video. On top of that, all 4 of us use DJI drones, which allow you to set a maximum altitude limit in the controller settings, making it impossible to accidentally fly higher than the legal limit. If the lawyer had been familiar with this technology, he wouldn't have made such an unfounded accusation. The letter also cited Florida Statute 934.50, which pertains to surveillance on private property and reasonable expectation of privacy. The statute specifies that privacy is only violated if a drone captures detailed, identifiable features. I typically fly at altitudes over 100 feet without an optical telephoto lens, which means I cannot capture intricate details. The most you can discern from my footage is house placement, elevation, landscaping, or whether a property has a pool. Furthermore, if a feature is visible from ground level, there's no reasonable expectation of privacy when viewed from a drone. To put it simply, you can't use a drone to spy on your neighbor over a fence, but filming visible structures from public airspace is entirely legal. Additionally, the lawyer referenced the privacy of construction workers. However, at the altitudes we fly, it is impossible to identify individual workers. The distance makes their features indistinct, rendering privacy concerns irrelevant. Ultimately, this feels like an attempt by the villages to control the narrative. They want to dictate the flow of information regardless of what their potential buyers want, which is as much information as possible before making one of the biggest financial decisions of their lives. Our channels function like small-scale news broadcasts, providing factual, visible updates that viewers appreciate. One of my friends jokingly suggested renaming my channel to MNN for Mario Napa News. But in all seriousness, that's essentially what we do. Share honest, transparent information. So will I continue making these videos? That's the big question. Let me share why I started in the first place. My initial focus was on documenting the rapid growth in Leesburg, capturing drone footage of the many new developments sprouting up, not just in the villages. Leesburg currently has 40,000 homes in the pipeline, including those in Lake County connected to the villages. Whether or not I continue filming the villages, I still have plenty of work ahead. My primary hobby is bicycling, not flying drones. I started documenting new developments to keep track of road infrastructure and ensure safe cycling routes before new neighborhoods went up. I've been actively involved in the Lake Sumter Metropolitan Planning Organization Community Advisory Committee for the last 6 years, keeping tabs on road improvements. The MPO director recently told me that my advocacy is making a positive impact, which reassures me that I'm on the right track. Interestingly, Interestingly, my coverage of the villages began by chance. About 4 years ago, my neighbor mentioned some major construction along Route 470 near the turnpike. That was the beginning of the villages of Westlake, which are the villages Dabney, Denham, and Lake Denham, and Newell. At first, I had no intention of filming there, assuming others like Gold Wingnut and Papa Pineapples were already covering it. However, on a slow Sunday afternoon, I took my drone out to see what was happening, and I was blown away. The rest is history. Since receiving the attorney's letter, I've emailed him asserting that I haven't violated any state or federal laws. I also sent a proposal, but he has yet to respond or call me back. Meanwhile, the Villages has received substantial and well-deserved negative publicity over this issue, and I'm sure he's very busy. As for what comes next, I'm not sure. I have a lot on my plate, and I've been enjoying some downtime, biking, fishing, and still flying my drone, just not over construction areas. I'll take things as they come and see how the situation plays out. Thank you for watching and listening. If you're unhappy with how the Villages is handling this, make your voice heard. Just don't post things on Nextdoor or the Villages news. Let the Villages know themselves. Thanks again for your support.
Pedal down the open road, catch a fish where rivers flow.